Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Business B.E.A.R podcast. It's your buddy Connor Norman here, your Garrett County Business Development Specialist with another exciting episode. Today, we'll be talking with the owner of Secondhand Citizen, a vintage clothier company right here in Garrett County that's got everything you need to stay the most fashionable in 2024. That's right, we got Shelly Deckman with us today. We're going to hear all from her, but before we go that direction, let's talk about the Business B.E.A.R podcast itself. For those that may be familiar, go ahead and skip 30 seconds, but I need to tell everybody what this program is about. So it's the Mover and Shaker podcast here in Garrett County that goes everything business. That's right, we tell you everything that's going on locally. We talk to our movers and shakers in the economic development field. We also talk to our local businesses. That's right, if you're a business owner out there or you have an entrepreneurial idea, come and talk to me. Let's put you on the podcast. Let's feature you. We got 15 to 30 minutes or more. Come on down. We'll put you on the schedule and we'll talk all about you and your business. So you want to come in? You want to do the Business B.E.A.R podcast? Give me a call, 301-334-7281. Or you can email me at cnorman@garrettcountymd.gov. Again, that's 301-334-7281 or cnorman@garrettcountymd.gov. This podcast is supported and sponsored by Garrett County Business Development. Remember, any opinions shared by the guest or the host are their own and do not reflect that of Garrett County Business Development or Garrett County government. All right, I think it's time we kick off this episode. Shelly, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you, Connor. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'd say we were looking at a very cold couple days here. Isn't it a nice switch up? You know, we go from 90 degrees all summer. And I'm the type that I melt in like room temperature, start sweating, and I'm looking at a forecast that says 48 degrees tonight. Is that crazy?
I saw that. Yes, I'm happy to have a sweatshirt on today. I like this weather.
I know, and such a nice sweatshirt too. It's so awesome. Where'd you get that one?
Little Cindy Lauper. I picked this up along with how I pick everything up for the shop.
Doing what you do best.
Yes, absolutely.
We're going to break that down and show everyone else where they can go and get some awesome sweaters to stay warm in this cool weather. It's Garrett County. You know, we're used to a little rain, and before you know it, it'll be snow and it'll be cold. I think that's the majority of the time here. Do you believe that we get about, now I think this year was the exception, but we get on average around 50 days of sunshine a year. This year, obviously blew that way out of the water. We had a lot more than the average. But again, we're going back to form here, I think, and it's starting to feel like fall out there.
It is starting to feel like fall out there, and I like it.
I'm sure you're excited. We got all those fashions and everything coming up.
Uh-huh.
Well, before we break down Secondhand Citizen, let's talk a little bit about you, Shelly.
Okay.
Give us a little bit about yourself. Are you from Garrett County? Did you move into Garrett County? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I grew up in Garrett County. I grew up right on Deep Creek Lake. I graduated from Southern High School. A very long time ago.
I also am Southern.
After high school, I moved to Arizona.
Okay.
And I was in Arizona for about 25 years.
Nice.
And then I moved to Florida for a little while, Kentucky for a little while, and then I ended up back in Garrett County during COVID.
Nice. So you've been around then. Tell me about Arizona. Is it true? Is the weather like drier out there? I see sometimes they're like it's 90 degrees, but people have jackets on.
90 degrees is beautiful in the desert. It is.
Really?
And it's really not until it gets over 100 that it starts to get a little uncomfortable.
Wow. No, I was out there when I was a kid. I saw the area, but not old enough to really experience it. I need to get out there and check that out. So very cool to have you back. You've had a nice little story. It looks like you've traveled quite a bit. And would you say it's fair to say that in all this traveling, it kind of gave you the experience for doing what you do today?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome. Yes. So let's dig into that a little bit. Okay. Let's go back to when you first are inspired to start sourcing clothing and going into this vintage fashion. You know, what was kind of the inspiration behind that?
Madonna when I was 13 years old.
Oh, nice. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I always wore secondhand clothes as a kid, and I've just always kind of been into a little different style and not the types of things that you can find in your average retail store.
Gotcha.
So that's, I just learned to just go out there and yard sales, thrift stores, and develop my style that way.
Great. So you kind of developed a great taste, just going out there and experiencing it, trying to go against the grain fashion-wise. That's really cool.
A little bit. Plus, when I was young, my mother lived in LA or the LA area.
Gotcha.
So when I was 13, 14, 15, I would go visit her in the summer and get a feel for different styles that way too.
Well, that certainly sets the tone. I mean,
Absolutely.
I think it's kind of regularly understood that some of your fashion centers include LA, New York, and they set the trend that
Absolutely.
sometimes will filter its way this way.
Yes.
I remember one time going into a shoe store and grabbing a pair of shoes, and they said that's the hottest thing in LA. It's ahead of its time. You're 5 years ahead of the East Coast if you wear those.
Right.
And I swear I was the first one to have
Absolutely.
those shoes around here, and then everyone has them now.
Yes. When I was in the 8th grade, I tend to be that kid that had a pair of shoes that no one else had.
You were setting the trend.
I was following Madonna, so maybe I was setting a trend for Garrett County, but
there you go, setting a trend for the East Coast. We'll take it.
Yes.
Okay, so that's very cool. Now, without divulging trade secrets, what are the best spots?
Anytime you are near a retirement area,
Okay,
it's a great place to find vintage clothing.
nice.
I do a lot of sourcing in Morgantown near college towns. Is always a fun place to find different things for the store.
So let's kind of talk about that. What's the difference between sourcing clothing and just going and buying something off the rack?
Well, you never know what you're going to find.
Okay,
And everything is one of a kind.
gotcha.
So it's not like I'm going to find a great piece and it's going to be in a medium and a large and an extra large.
Gotcha.
It is what it is.
It's going to be your size and maybe something that may say, XL on the tag, but really it fits more like a medium, or maybe it fits
with
more
vintage,
like
especially, yes.
fits something maybe even bigger than that. But it sounds like it's tailored kind of exclusively towards the person. You just have to go and try it on. So as you're gaining this experience and you're starting to source some of these clothing locally, were you kind of dabbling in this business prior to opening up a shop here in Garrett County?
Oh, absolutely. More so than just dabbling. When I was in Arizona, I sourced full time. I bartended part time, sourced full time, and I started out on selling platforms like eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I eventually was able to open a store in a little town in northern Arizona called Kingman.
Really?
And I had a 1940s gas station.
Oh, no way.
On Route 66.
How cool.
So that was a really cool spot. I got to meet people from all over the world.
Yeah.
And that was my first experience with owning my own storefront.
I imagine that probably was a great community to source things, from a wide variety of, backgrounds, from wide variety of fashions. Explain to me a little bit about the fashion sense. Is it something that is more eclectic? Are you looking for, when you're going to look for a piece, is it something that stands out? Is it something, tell me a little bit about that process.
Well, I definitely like anything eclectic, anything different. Anything with a little razzle dazzle. I love sequins, anything that sparkles, fringe. I love finding men's clothing too. I love vintage fabrics like tweeds and wools and corduroy and velvet and just much better quality fabrics than are made today. So those are the type of things that stand out to me.
Nice. And some of these clothing, they just stand the test of time.
Oh, absolutely.
And is it true that everything eventually, it's cyclical, eventually everything's going to come back in fashion?
Absolutely.
Nice. So what do you think is like the trendiest right now?
Well, with the Gen Zers, they are really loving Y2K fashion right now.
Oh, okay.
So if you think about brands like Ed Hardy, Early Pink by Victoria's Secret, that is what is really trending right now for the younger generation.
Which is crazy because back in the time it was like, this is what I just get to wear something, right?
Yes, it seems to us, because we lived through that period, it seems very average.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, Y2K was 24 years ago.
Yeah.
So those items are considered vintage, anything over 20 years.
I was just thinking about that earlier this morning. In radio for our top 40 hits station, locally, 104.5, if you're not listening, make sure you are. We would say 80s, 90s, and now. And now I'm thinking, basically, if we keep up with the format how it should be, now it's like 2000s, 10s, and now.
Yes.
So seems like that's
Absolutely.
all coming right back. It seems like it was yesterday, probably in our mind, and now it's the retro thing.
Yes, I just saw a list of songs that hit 25 recently.
Oh, it's depressing.
I couldn't believe it's like that's 25 years old. I mean, I can't believe that we've been listening to some of these songs for that long.
Yeah, and you're right. And you talk about like the oldies stations too, and things like that fell into the 60s categories, 70s categories, which would have considered oldies now. That's moving its way into the classical realm.
Oh yes.
If you talk about traditional formats, so I
Mhm.
think they need to rework that, or at least give it a better term than classical, right? I mean, we're expecting violins and concertos. We're
Right.
not expecting like
Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses,
Right.
Led Zeppelin. That's not gonna. But very cool. So let's fast forward to a couple weeks ago
Okay.
to this past Memorial Day weekend. You open up Secondhand Citizen right here in Garrett County at the markets at 42.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your shop here.
Well, my nephew Michael Frotz and a family friend Jesse Rayleigh had
Okay.
invited me to be a part of their upcoming space with all these wonderful things that they're putting
Oh
in at the
yes,
market.
fantastic
Oh,
what they're
it's
doing down
amazing.
there.
I love my neighbors there a lot, and I knew once I stepped in there that it was going to be the right fit for me.
Uh-huh.
Um, I feel that the other businesses there are a little cutting edge,
Oh, definitely.
especially
Absolutely. And, to tack in a little bit on that, I think it's a very unique collection of businesses that are very, kind of, it seems in tune with what modern market standards are looking for.
absolutely.
So that's
Mhm.
very cool that you guys have kind of naturally all collected to the same spot. It seems
Yes.
like it's very unique place to go and check out.
Absolutely, and the other business owners are just really, really amazing, neat, different people.
Absolutely.
You know.
And you can say that about wider Garrett County. We have such a great business community, and they have made such fantastic additions, including yourself right there at the markets of 42. So it's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
So let's go into Secondhand Citizen. What are some
Okay.
things I can check out?
Well, I do secondhand and vintage both.
Okay.
I'll get into why I prefer secondhand clothing in a second, but I do housewares. I have some artwork. Um, my main focus is the clothing, though.
Okay.
I have everything from old Levi's t-shirts to wedding dresses and gowns,
Yeah.
boots. I have some really cool roller skates at the shop right now. Um, barware
Nice.
is a big seller for me.
Gotcha.
Everyone loves their Madman bar,
Yeah.
so you can definitely come find some unique barware at my shop as well.
Very cool.
I would like to, one thing that I would like to extend on, I would eventually like to have vinyl in
Okay.
the store, but
Nice.
that's not something personally that I am an expert on. So if anyone out there is an expert on vinyl,
Gotcha. We'll
you
talk.
should come see me. There you go. Hey, Connor. there you
Gotcha.
go.
Yeah, gotcha. We'll talk.
All right.
So that's very cool. So it sounds like a great supply. Now, would you say that your stock is, rotating regularly? So every time you go in, you're going to find something new that you didn't
Absolutely.
see before.
I put new inventory out every single day.
Cool. So,
So I put as much time into my store when I'm not at my store as I do when I'm there.
gotcha.
It is a continuous hunt, search.
See,
Yes.
for those that are listening, that is a mark of a true entrepreneur. At least for your first 100 days, it is 24/7. Your
Yes.
business,
Absolutely.
you know how it goes. So you're constantly thinking about what can I do better? What can I put this here? Will that
Right.
look better? So it's really cool that people can come to you and find a unique piece, whether they're going to wear it out in public or whether they're going to put it in their home.
Mhm. Yes.
So in the back, you have a special room that is filled with sequins, and it's filled with some of the most unique things I've ever seen. Tell me about that back room.
Well, I call my back room my Wednesday Adams room.
Okay.
I tend to lean towards a goth style myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I also have always been attracted to little black dresses.
Okay.
And so I have a lot of evening wear back there, but I also have a lot of funky styles back there, like you said, sequins. I have a
Okay.
couple sequin cat suits right now that you would definitely be the only one at the party
Oh, nice.
in this outfit. Yes,
Very cool. So, speaking of the sequence, like that could be used anytime.
absolutely.
Talk about that one event that happens in January, the sequence party.
Oh, I don't know much about it, but I've been told that there is a sparkle party in Garrett County. Now, being I'm kind of new coming back here, I'm not sure exactly who puts it on.
But
You,
you
but
have the source
I have
for
this.
people looking to sparkle
Yes,
up for that
I
party, right?
have the sparkles for you.
Yeah,
But
that's been seems like it's taken on as a great annual event. I know it's an event for the ladies where they get to shine up and sparkle up the night.
well,
And
hopefully, it's an event for the men to sparkle too, because
we
I do have some men's clothing as well.
we need a compatible men's sparkle night.
Absolutely, yes.
um, but no, that's very cool and it's very unique offerings that you have there. Do you think you'll find or what kind of things are you looking for when you look to expand on your vintage offerings?
I recently sold an antique wedding dress.
Really?
And the lovely lady, Micah, that she was visiting from St. Louis,
Okay.
and she had recently got engaged but didn't come into my shop looking for a wedding dress.
Really?
And when she came in, she pointed at one dress, and I said, "That's too small for you. This is your dress."
Wow.
And I have a knack for finding the right piece for the right person too, because I don't just sell the items, I want to style the items for you as well.
Gotcha.
So she went in the back room and put this dress on, and it was magic. And we both teared up a little bit, and that made my whole day, my whole week.
Yeah, how
So,
incredible.
yes, so I would like to add more wedding items to the shop.
Now,
That
speaking of kind of like a personal stylist, will you help somebody, that comes into the shop and say, hey, this will be a good fit for you. This maybe goes with you a little better. Like sometimes I like to, or sometimes I would say this. I'm very happy I get to just put on the shirt and tie every day, and that's Connor.
right.
But let's say I need some fashion advice. Would you
Sure.
be able to?
Oh, absolutely. And for example, on Saturday, I had a young lady come in who is very petite, and she was complaining to me that she has a very difficult time finding clothes small enough for her.
Okay.
And I had just put a dress out that day, and I said, "I have the dress for you," and she took one look at it, didn't even try it on. We knew it would fit her, and she squealed, and I squealed, and away she went.
Nice.
And she spent all of 5 minutes in my shop and
Yeah,
walked out
awesome.
with a great new dress.
Great. Well, that sounds like a fantastic addition that maybe could be used in this county.
Yes,
I'm taking that piece out.
it's an odd talent to. I never realized how much of a talent it was being able to style someone. It's always come so naturally to me.
Yeah.
And it was actually someone in my past that pointed out to me that not everyone can do that. That's rare. I just thought that was normal, but it turns out that not everyone can do that.
Yeah. I mean, you've had this, in not just years of working experience, but you've had a lifetime of experience of trying to put together something that appealed to you. And sometimes that's a vision that, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. And it sounds like this is, well, not sounds like, and this is a very much a strength that you have that you can share with others.
Yes.
And I'm sure a lot of people are going to take advantage of this, especially in a more individual, 2024, when people are looking for something unique. It sounds like this is going to be a great stop for them, especially when you're looking for something that's against the grain or something that's you and nobody else.
Yes, I agree with that. Another thing I think a lot of people are looking for in the climate that we live in today is sustainable fashion. And
Okay.
that's why I like to resell secondhand clothing as well, to keep things out of the landfill. It's very much
That's
an
right.
environmental cause to me as well.
Yeah.
The fashion industry produces a mass amount of waste every day, and especially with fast fashion brands, the clothing are very disposable. They're not made well. Um, so that's a passion of mine as well, is to help keep things out of the landfill and help take care of our planet.
Very cool. So it sounds like you have a nice range too. Like if I come in and let's say I'm on a fashion budget, or if I've got a little more to spend, you have a nice little range.
Absolutely. I
Okay.
try to have a little something for everyone. I have shirts for $14, and then I have some amazing 1950s cocktail dresses in the $200 range.
Gotcha.
So, and everything in between. So there's definitely something for everyone.
Excellent. Well, and that's cool point too. If you go there and you've got a special occasion coming up and you want something that's literally stood the test of time and it's going to make a statement at your next party or event, you've got them covered.
Absolutely. And I will almost guarantee you will be the only person in the room in that outfit.
Well, yeah. How many?
Yeah. The chances of someone having the same vintage dress of you are slim to none.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Excellent. So let's say somebody wanted to keep up to date on the latest with Secondhand Citizen, kind of see, do you list your stock on your Facebook page or online anywhere?
I do have a Facebook page.
Okay.
I try to post pictures as I rearrange the shop, put in new inventory, make a new vignette. I'll take pictures and post on Facebook.
Okay, excellent. So people can keep in touch with you by following. Now, is it at Secondhand Citizen?
Secondhand Citizen on Facebook. I do have an Instagram as well. Social media isn't exactly my strong point, but right now I'm focusing on Facebook because I know how to use it.
Gotcha. Excellent. Well, hey, it's an excellent platform. Plus, a lot of people are using it,
Yes.
and it's a great way to kind of show off what you've got going on.
Yes, thank you. And I do have some young friends that are going to help me with this TikTok trend.
Oh, great. All right.
Yeah. I just dated myself there that I don't know how to use TikTok.
It's okay.
I'm vintage too.
That's part of the charm.
Yeah.
It's a new frontier, I think, for a lot. So it's great you're utilizing these platforms to really put the message and your product out there.
Oh, thank you.
So what are your hours?
At the moment, I am at the shop Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 to 4.
Okay.
Rain or shine. And those rainy days are a great day to come and see me. Sunny days too, but I would like to extend those hours once we have a few more of the businesses coming into the market on 42.
Gotcha. Excellent. All right. So I'll just put this in the thing. Never mind. I'm not going to ask you the address. Do you know the address off the top of it? Okay. So what's the address there for the markets of 42?
It's 2150 Friendsville Road.
Okay.
Friendsville, Maryland. But it has a Friendsville address, but it's actually only 5 or 10 minutes from McHenry.
Okay.
And I'm in suite number 2.
I think that's a good point. It's only 5 to 10 minutes from the lake.
Absolutely.
I would say more like 5 minutes from the lake.
It is 5. Well, it depends on how fast you
How the
drive,
weather,
I guess.
yeah. It's always
how the traffic is.
Yeah, if you want to look at the surroundings,
Yes,
take your time,
if,
make it an
the
experience.
Deer grazing, it may take you 8 minutes. Yeah.
But the point is, it's a very short distance from the lake.
Very short distance.
And a lot of people are going up and down 42, whether they're heading in or out of the county,
Absolutely.
visitors or locals, as they come. You are very close at hand. You're a little centrally located there in the community, so you're easy to find. Oh, nice.
They call me all the time.
Excuse me, we've been trying to reach you over your car's limited warranty.
Uh-huh.
So do you do like consultations, personal consultations?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sure.
So
And you can always send me a message on Facebook. Is probably the best way to get a hold of me on Messenger.
Gotcha. I'll set you up here.
Okay.
So another question I have for you: Another question I have for you is: do you do any type of consultation?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Okay.
You could come see me any day that I'm open, or if you wanted to even have a private consultation, you could
Okay.
always message me on Facebook Messenger, and
Excellent.
I'm happy to set up a private consultation with you as well.
Oh, awesome. All right, Shelly, I think we've had a great talk today. Thank you so much for sharing everything about Secondhand Citizen. It's nice to know that we have this available in our community now. I know people that have been sourcing clothing or going to find vintage shops like yours are leaving the community, traveling far and abroad to find something that is so unique and so awesome. And now we have it right here in our backyard, which I think is the best. So, at the end of every episode, I kind of leave the mic open. I give all of my guests time to tell us about any upcoming specials, any special events, or just reiterate what we talked about. I'm going to open up the mic. Shelly, this time's yours.
Okay. Well, I just want to thank you, Connor, for having me today. I'm very excited to be back in Garrett County and very excited to have a new fun business here for the locals, for the visitors, for the people that live here part time. I meet the most amazing people in my shop. I have the most amazing conversations with people. Even if you don't come in to buy anything, come in and say hello, and let's get to know each other.
Awesome. That's awesome, Shelly. I think I'm excited to see how you grow. I'm excited to see the people and the stories that come out of your business here at the Markets of 42. So thank you so much for coming in. And again, thank you everyone for listening to the Business B.E.A.R podcast. Remember to be following us at our Garrett County, Maryland Department of Business Development webpage. We also have a Facebook, we have a LinkedIn, we have a Twitter or X, whatever Elon is calling it these days. We also have an Instagram. Follow us along for all of your latest Garrett County business development news, and of course, when the latest episode of the Business B.E.A.R podcast drops. Folks, I'm Connor Norman. I'll see you all on the other side.